let's listen to Righteous.
Wow.
Righteous, ayizele isitori yena.
Wow, Mami. What do I say after such a sad story? Thank you so much for the invite. This is such a beautiful, beautiful conference. I call it a conference. You know, when women stand together, it's that time where women stop competing and stand together. You know, gone are those days where women laugh at each other. Because one way or the other, you experience pain, you know. So it's time we carry each other's burdens, pray for one another. Thank you for this initiative. I'm grateful. And for such a beautiful story with me, you know, I thought I went through so much until you spoke. Hence, I'm like, what is there to say? Yeah, so my name is Righteous Chawane, all the way from Bushback Ridge. I'm 33 years. I love saying I'm 33. I love saying my age. I'm so proud. I'm very proud of my age. So I'm a daughter of Bishop Ray Chawane and Mam Kundisi Precious. So they've got a big church in Bushback Ridge. I mean, like, I think they've got the biggest church in Bushback Ridge in Mpumalanga. The Worshippers in Jesus Ministries is well known. Under the leadership of my dad, he's got like 47 branches. And I don't know how many pastors. And we have a branch in Joburg, 3 branches here in Gauteng. I serve, I'm in one of the branches in Tembisa. So yeah, my story is very lovely. I love to shout out to my ex-hubby. Thank you, brother. Oh, look at where I'm sitting today. I mean, like, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. It's important that I acknowledge you, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've known this man since I was 14. Yeah, like her. So, but we're not in love. We were not in a relationship. But the first day he saw me, we were in a church conference, you know. So you know, when you're in a conference, and the first time he saw me, he purposed in his heart that one day I'm gonna make that girl my wife. So it happened that I grew up being a focused girl. I didn't want distraction. I had planned my life in a certain way. I'm gonna start dating at this age. So we became friends. Like we've been friends, you know. And like then there were no phones, but we would find ways to speak. That's how much he loved me. And yeah, I think I should say that I know he loved me. He did, you know. It's just life that happened. So we lived, and life happened, and until I think I was 29. So I've been in relationships and up and down, didn't work. So when I was 29, I felt like no more time, you know. Girls, women, we love, I don't know,
It's a society.
Yes, society. Yeah, they put you in that pressure to say that at 25, there's a picture that I normally laugh about. It shows a young girl, a pretty young girl who's 25. So they show that girl, the way she looks and the way people view her. So the way they view her, it's this magogo, you know, this old lady. And if you are 25, and it says if you are 25 and not married, this is how you look, but this is how the society sees you. You know, every time they see you, oh, do you have somebody? When are you getting married? You know, so it puts you under pressure, feeling like time is behind, like I need to rush. So I think I got to that stage where my sister is 3 years younger than me. And she was already in a serious relationship, ready to get married, ready to settle. So I felt like I'm delaying her somehow, you know. But it was society, not from my family, you know. So I remember when I was 27, you know, on my birthday, I slept in my house the whole day. I slept in my room. I just felt like I'm old. I'm not in a relationship. What is wrong with me? My parents called me out for a meeting. They were like, Righteous, look at how beautiful you are. Why are you pressuring yourself? Why we're still here, we still love you. Why should you stress yourself like that? But I felt like this is not on. how can such a beautiful girl be 27 and single? You know?
And
not that they're not coming. They were coming, but I was not interested. You see, the ones that were coming, I didn't click with. You see, and I think I'm very proud of myself right now that I'm single as a matter of choice. And even if people speak, I don't care anymore. You know, you get to that stage where you be like, this is about me. I don't want to make the mistake I've made before. You know, so yeah, my parents spoke to me, but I didn't listen. And at 29, this guy came. He's been there, but now I felt like, hey, time. You know, all this time I've been saying no. So now, because time, and I feel like, okay, this one, he can do what I actually want. He can give me the wedding I want. He can do the things that I want, you know, because he loved me. You know, he did everything like that. He did whatever. I remember we dated for 6 months, and he asked me to go introduce him to my parents. I spoke to my parents, and when I sat down with my parents, they were like, you know, parents, they would advise you, but they won't make decisions for you. Yeah, shout out daddy and mommy. Yeah, my parents are the best in the world. So they showed me, look at this, look at that. But I was naive. I wanted to get married. And I had fallen in love now with him because of the way he loved me, you know. He was such a loving guy. Send me flowers, to do all of these things. He used to call me, now that we are sitting, he would have called me 10 times. Sure. That's how loving this man was, you know. So I was like, yeah, this is saying that marry a guy who loves you more, yeah, than vice versa. So I thought, he loves me more, and he's been loving me since I was a kid. Probably this is it, you know. So I wanted to speak to my parents, and they agreed on, they didn't have a choice. I convinced them. Yeah, so we spoke about lobola negotiation. The way this guy was ready, you know, and I told him that
happened so fast.
Yes, it happened very quickly. He was ready as well, and then 8-9 months in our relationship. Within our relationship, he came to pay lobola. He paid cash, bruh. That's how much he loved me.
He didn't want any credit bureau.
And one thing that I really admire, I mean, like hence I say, I know he loved me, you know, is the fact that on that day he had a meeting with my dad prior. You know, my dad told him, this is how I want. I don't know why they say lobola awuyedi. So my dad said, I don't understand who came up with that. So I want to initiate my own thing in my own house. I wanted to bring the lobola once and for all. So we prepared, like everything was such a beautiful day. So his family were like, this is not done like that. You can only take 55, and then the remainder will take it later. So they got home as we were busy negotiating. They asked for a wedding date. My dad was like, I had an agreement with my son-in-law. This is not how I work. So I'm not giving you a date until the lobola is done. It's a Saturday. It's around 3, you know. The way this guy wanted me, he had to look for a bank to deposit the remaining 5 grand. And he did. We had to wait until he gets a bank, because it was far. Gets a bank, he deposited, and he sent his people to go get from the bank, and they came back. We finished lobola around 6 p.m. That's how much this man wanted me. And then after the lobola, he had planned to surprise me on that lobola day. He came later on. I see he's shaking. I'm like, oh, bro, what is happening? And he's not saying. Gandhi, he wanted to surprise me. He bought a ring. So he wanted to surprise me on that day. So my dad was like, you don't surprise your wife in my house. So unfortunately he couldn't do it, but then the following week, fortunately, we had a conference where there's a lot of people, like from different places. So my dad was like, it would be nice, it would encourage young people to wait on God and stuff like that. So the engagement happened the following week on a Saturday. I remember him crying. You know? And
that ring.
You know, the joy I had, because I always wanted a man who cried. Because of all my dad cried for my mother. Yeah, so I would like, I'll be happy if my man could cry. So when I saw him crying that day, I was like, hey, Jesus, thank you, you know. So he put the ring on it, and he did say it was like the story of when he fell in love with me and stuff like that. And then that was the beginning of our drama. You see that how beautiful the story was when we were laughing. After the engagement, it was the beginning of our drama. As a matter of fact, we got married while the marriage is already ended. Actually, the love ended on the engagement day. Yeah, because that's when a lot of things started to happen. We used to quarrel, but they say before after you've announced your wedding date, there are challenges. You know, you need to pray. The devil
doesn't want to
marry.
marriage.
So I thought that is that. You know, in my mind. Yeah, and I married my guy with 2 kids. And I knew about them. We had a good, strong relationship. I normally say I miss the kids. I do, you know. We had a very beautiful relationship with the kids, you know. I had programmed my mind. I loved them. That's one of the reasons I don't have a child. I planned to get them to attach with them first, so that they know this is our mother before I bring in my own, you know. That's how I planned my life, and that's how much I love them. I put them first, you know. So that is how we started the fight. You would think I hate his kids, and I never hated his kids. I wish he can hear this and know. I never. I still love the kids. We had a strong relationship. The girl would even help me wash the dishes. The boy, we used to play. I never had a child, but because I was ready, I would go through. I would read things about how. Yes, you know. That's how much I was so committed, you know, because they say if you love somebody, it's not a bad thing. I would encourage people, if you know you've got a heart for that, marry somebody with kids. It's not a problem. Not a problem. Yes, you know, it's not a problem. Yeah, they are kids. They are a gift from God, you know. They didn't do anything, you know. Yeah. So I didn't see any problem with it, though a lot of people would be like, why is she marrying somebody with kids? But if you love somebody, you love them with their Bible.
Unconditionally.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, so that was one of those things that triggered, I don't know, it would trigger things unnecessary. He would just feel like I don't like them, I hate them. And hate is a big word, you know. So we'd fight over that. And I kept...
Were you staying with the kids?
Yeah, we were to stay with them, but that was even before the wedding.
Oh, okay.
So this thing just started all of a sudden, you know, before the wedding. But anyway, I kept praying, believing that God will make a way. He would see, you know, with my actions. And I did everything. I mean, if one day, I'm sure one day I'll have an opportunity with the kids when they've grown, because I know I've left a mark in their lives, you know, so to speak. But anyway, that's how it happened, and we got married. Before we could even get married, I got sick. I was so stressed, you know. I got sick. I was diagnosed with low blood pressure because I was stressed. Yeah, and yeah, you know. But I didn't want to stop everything. And we had a meeting at home. My parents suggested, why don't you postpone this until you guys are fine? I can't put a mouse and a cat in the same house, you know. But we were excited. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but we carried on. We got married 2017 April.
It's still you, girl.
Is it? Yeah. It's been 3 years. It's been 3 years now.
Oh.
It's a long time ago. Yeah, we got married, and yeah, that was hell. You know, hell. I've experienced hell on earth. Yeah, from that day. This man waited for me for a year. We got married now, it was after a year. I told him sex before marriage is a sin for me. And he's like, it's fine, I'll wait for you. We waited. So I was looking forward that when we get to honeymoon, you know. But unfortunately, he didn't like me. You know when somebody doesn't like you? Yeah, it's like they can't even look at you.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they can't even look at you. You are just irritating. And every time you speak, you trigger something, they just shout, they snap, you know. Yeah, we went to Thailand for honeymoon. The whole 7 days was a mess. If this guy is not tired, he's hungry. If he's not, we did, but it's something that I would be starting, I'll be pushing. It's me initiating. If I don't initiate, it means we're going to sleep like brother and sister. And after doing it, there is no, the cuddling. He just sleeps and feels
okay,
that
guys, we love that cuddling, hey? After doing that.
We do.
We love that cuddling.
There was nothing like that. After that, he would just face that way. And I'm like, so they normally say, like people used to say that, you are waiting for marriage. What if you guys are not compatible? So it worried me. What if it's one of those things? What if it's not? It's not connecting with me in that way, And so one day in our honeymoon, I sent him a text. I was now scared of him. Imagine this guy who was my friend. Now I'm scared even to speak to him. We're sleeping on the same bed. I'm even scared to speak to him. I sent him a text. I asked, is there anything wrong with me? Why is it that you don't desire me? You won't even touch me. You won't even do anything to me, And he didn't sleep. I was like, I woke him up like that, So he woke up. I sent you a text. He read. Oh, he got so angry. He's like, what is it that you want from me? It's like...
And then now, are you questioning your beauty when he does it?
Yeah, I think something is wrong, obviously. Yeah.
So you're not sure of yourself?
Yes, obviously.
And then you see this dark, like, ugly, like, woman.
You think something is wrong, So he woke up, he left. And it's around what time? 9-10 p.m. in Thailand, in our honeymoon. Yeah, I got worried. I'm thinking, what if something happens to him? Angry, like the way he's so angry. But I spoke to myself that righteous when he gets back, don't ask from now going forward. I think it was on day 3, if not day 4. I'm like, don't ask anything anymore. Just go by his mood. If he's happy, be happy. If he's quiet, just be quiet, so that we can end this and go back home. So he came back, I apologized and I kissed him and stuff. And then we carried on. I just couldn't wait to go home.
There was no honey in there.
No, there was no honey there. It was like sour. Chili. So we came back, and on our way back, I said something. I spoke about this mostly on my YouTube channel, the whole story. But anyway, I said something that made him snap, and we didn't speak from Thailand till here for 14 hours.
No way.
My goodness. Yeah.
From honeymoon.
Yeah. And my first 2 days in his house, he wasn't speaking to me. It's your first time in somebody's house. They are not speaking to you. A lot of episodes happened in that marriage, and I just kept praying, pushing. We were in a long distance marriage. He works home, I work in Gauteng. So in the 5 months of our marriage, he came to me twice. All the weekends it was me traveling to him. Sure. And when I get there,
where home? Bushbuck.
Mpumalanga. When I get there, he's moody. He doesn't want to talk to me. It's just like that, Till, cut the long story short, in September I decided to spoil him, and hoping that it will help us reconnect. So I booked a place, and I'm like, can you please take leave? I'm gonna visit. Let's go away. Let's be together. Let's see how this, maybe we can work this out. That weekend was a mess. We fought from Friday, Saturday until Sunday. That's why I'm a cold-blooded. That's why he put me in the shower, cold shower. We're showering together. Next thing, he just decides to switch off the hot water and leave the cold water and hold me there. And
it's like suffocating.
Yeah, like I was suffocating. I don't know what to do. I'm crying, and after that, he takes me out and he's like, ha ha ha. I'm like, what is wrong? And they're like, why are you laughing? He's like, that was a joke. It's my life.
Sure.
He locked me in the car, a lot of things happened in that weekend. That's where I realized that if I don't leave this marriage will kill me. But at the same time, I didn't have the strength to leave the marriage. I didn't have the strength. I'm a pastor's child, like I said. I was not
don't believe in divorce.
Yeah, I wasn't like Domi, who was brave enough to pack her bags. With me, I kept hoping and believing that prayer will work this thing out, you know. So I was just hoping for that one word that you could say that would give me a chance to hold on to and leave. So he kept saying he was tired. I mean, he was tired even before we got married. So that time when I got back, I came back with his friends who were even drinking. He didn't even check on me. How far? Are you safe? Whatever. And then Monday, the very same person, me, I sent him an email to say I appreciate him. I mean, for going out with me. He didn't even ask. How was your journey? Did you travel safe? But I was like, on a Monday now, thank you for going with me. I appreciate your time. I hope they normally say first year is the hardest. So I believe that things will get better. Yeah, that's what I said to him. And then his response was, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired.
It's like walk fire, man. It's like it's over.
Yeah, so I asked, are you breaking up with me? He didn't respond. That was like as easy as the end of our marriage. That's how it ended. And the way I was so tired as well, I didn't want to force. I didn't want to beg. It was like, come what may, I'm taking my life back. So I chose to speak to his parents, and I think they tried to speak to him, but he had made his mind that he can't be with me. I'm disrespectful, I'm controlling, I talk too much. A lot of things that he said that I don't even remember. And I decided a month or two that I'm going to speak. After the parents couldn't call us for a meeting, I could see that they are not doing anything. It's better now I tell my parents, that there is no more marriage. So I spoke to my parents and they called a meeting. Because he had made his mind that he doesn't want me anymore. He came and he was so bold and so brave to say that I can't do this anymore. I'm tired. She's just too much for me. Rejection. Yeah, she's just too much for me. And a lot of things had happened. I prayed for that meeting that God could change things. But, I later realized that the prayer was not to save the marriage, it was to save my life, because if I pursued that, I might have died, So, yeah, man, he left.
But do you think had he not left, do you think that at some point you would have...
I don't know. Hey, I'm struggling to answer that question. I don't know. I think I would have died. I don't think I was brave enough to leave. Yeah.
And then,
I would have been brave
I think
enough.
I saw your pictures, the fairy tale wedding.
Yeah.
There's a wedding.
Yeah.
A wedding that we planned.
It was actually a 3 days wedding.
It went on, and the bridal showers. 5 bridal showers. Can you imagine spending that?
We had like 400 guests on Friday, because it was like a place I booked. That's what I wanted. It something intimate. It was actually limited to 200, but people and me being people. Yeah, but I love people. I make friends everywhere I am. I just make friends. So even the bridal showers, it was the friends that I made myself. So everybody wanted to do something. Every week I attended bridal showers. I'm like, guys, I'm tired of showers.
What I'm trying to say is, there's a wedding. There's a marriage. We must separate the two.
Very important.
This is a thing of a moment.
Yeah.
This is a thing of a lifetime.
Yeah.
Which is a marriage.
Yeah.
And where you have to work on it daily. And I hear on your story that you used to apologize even if you're not wrong.
Yeah. I did that. I've got a full story on my channel. I had to sum it up here. But I apologized a lot, I don't know. I don't know, but I just felt for peace sake. For peace sake, sometimes I feel like if this guy, the motivational speaker, I forgot his name. Is an Indian. says that at some point you need to choose whether you want love or to be right. You know? So for me, I wanted love. I don't want to be right. Hence I apologize so that we can be happy. At the end of the day, when we are happy, it doesn't matter who apologized first. We are all happy in the house. And we were raising kids. You know, one of the things I said, I don't want the kids to think there is no love because you and their man didn't work. And now there's another woman in the picture and you still live the same. We need to give these kids hope that there is love, real love out there, you know. So for me, I apologized because as a woman, the Bible, we are instructed to respect this man, you know, and not to say it's right to apologize every time. No, but I wanted peace. I wanted peace. I just love an environment that is peaceful. That is how I was raised. You know, we are always happy at home. I've never seen my parents shouting at each other. I've never seen when we are at home, you know, every time, even now, my parents, it's so hard for them to let us go get married because they are used to us. When we are at home, we sit together, we laugh. That's the environment I was raised in. Peaceful environment.
Wait, was he coming from the home family?
Yes, he is. He is. He is coming from that
and then,
family.
like, is he also a Tonga?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not. I wouldn't want to.
Okay.
Yeah,
no.
go deep there, you know.
No.
Let's protect his image. This is to. It's not to expose the person, but it's to teach people that this thing happens. You know, somebody would have killed themselves. You know, after such a big wedding, and somebody leaves you within 5 months. You know, yes, suicidal thoughts came, but the Holy Spirit kept saying that. Before this man came, you had a life. You had a life. Why would you want to destroy yourself?
The thing, you know why I'm asking? Sometimes when we merge in a marriage, and then coming from different backgrounds, different cultures, like we find ourselves in a difficult situation to merge the cultures. That's why I'm coming and say. Like, is he also because sometimes maybe you were too much, you're not like Ishkakabona, you cannot talk as a woman, you just sit there and wait for him, you know, and then whereas you know you express yourself and then like when I was so you did it, you were talking, you know. And then uri alaba kuendela kubana bangaboni. You know, I'll advise sometimes to men, if you love the kids so much, you must love them through their mother. That's if if my husband says he loves Kulani, I'm the way. Because you can give as mothers. If I'm happy, you know, that warmth because like money kuba warm. That's the role that we play as women. You know, you know, if you see family standing, it's because there's a powerful woman. There's a powerful woman in Bogodo, where you see a woman. It's because of that woman. You know. So your story, and then you laugh and you care about it, and I like it.
I'm so glad we have this platform because both of us, we are pastor's kids. We got married. I walked away. He walked out on you. And it's at the end of the day, marriage ended. And as Christians, I know the experience I experienced as one Fundisi marriage. I work out ganga. On your side, what response did you get from people? I get again. Because I know there are a lot of women that are in like uncomfortable marriages and
they're because of us Bazalwane who would judge them. Yeah, it's there. It was there. I mean, I agree. The story that I wrote when I announced this publicly that my marriage ended, you know. I was like, there were lots of rumors, lots of critics. Yenaya Queenie, people would be laughing, as if you chose that for yourself, you know. So it wasn't easy. I remember my dad even went and spoke in church, and because that's another thing, being a public figure. Everything needs to be announced. Everyone must be told because yes, you know. So he had to speak he had to announce officially to the church, you know, that she's no more married. And he said it was at a very early stage. So officially it ended in November. So my dad spoke about it.
2017.
Yeah. So my dad spoke about it in December. Yeah. So he said when she's ready, she will come speak about it. I never saw myself speaking about it. You know, that is one thing about God. I never saw myself doing this, speaking about my story. You know, I only spoke about my story for the first time in 2019. People knew me. People knew the fact that he left me, but they didn't know what happened inside. You know, because I didn't want to expose whatever. And me doing this, it was God who spoke to me about it. You know, I prayed and I'm like, when I launched the fix, you know, I was like, God, what were you trying to teach me about this? You know, and I'm launching this event. I know, you know, when we go to the conference, women conferences, I said that a lot last year. I was invited to be the guest speaker. When we get there, people speak about Hannah, people about Moses. We know Moses. We want to know the reality. Let's think about what is happening today, you know. So for me, I was like, I've attended conferences. I want my event to be different. I want this to be real. You know,
Your experience.
Yeah, I want this to be real. And God said, share your story. Speak what you've experienced, you know. So that's when a lot of people's mind changed from being judgmental to learn that, you know, we can judge, but we don't know the depth of things that are happening behind closed doors. You know, there's ceilings. They're hiding a lot of things, you know.
Sorry for interrupting.
Sorry.
Did you go through depression?
No. I didn't. I don't know what depression is. I think one of the things that helped me was that, so it ended in November, right? December, Jan, Feb, March, April, that day which was to be our anniversary, that week, as I was praying, the Holy Ghost came through so badly to say that, tell the world that your marriage ended. Go to social media. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Social media is for bait. It's for fancy things. You don't go and expose your failures on social media. You don't, you know. And the voice came so strong. I remember it woke me up at 12. The first message that I wrote, you know, when I read that message even today, I'm like, but wow, there's God out there. I was like, I don't know the plans of God, but God has a better way. I know that my story will be a healing to somebody one day. And I'm like, don't kill yourself. There is a message behind your pain, you know. And then, like, I had not spoken to it to anybody. So the responses from people that day, you know, people just went, you are brave, you're strong, you're brave. And after that, God said, you know, when you are like social media, when there are rumors, you start having lots of people who are viewing your status, wanting to see what you are you still crying. Yeah. So I used to have,
they want to follow you.
Yeah. So I used to have like 300 views on my status, you know. And then God said, use the very same platform to teach about your life, right? That is where I got my healing, because God will give me topics about anger, forgiveness. That's what I was struggling with, to forgive. I struggled, you know. I struggled a lot because of the things that I went through, you know. I felt like, how could something so bad happen to such a person like me? And the fact that, you know, you'd see people, I'm not perfect, but I'm a kind person, you know. Yeah, I'm a kind person. That's one thing I know about myself. I love putting myself on the next person's shoes, you know. Yeah, I care a lot about people. I think that's one of the things. Even my ex used to say that people take advantage of you
your kindness.
because you are very kind, you know. And he kept promising that he would protect me from people taking advantage of me, you know. So when he's the one who did something like that, it was so discouraging. But at the end of the day, there is a lesson to every pain a person goes through, you know. So yeah, that's how I started to share. So from there, I didn't have time to stress. I didn't have time to cry myself to sleep. And the fact that people would reach out to me started.
All right.
Yeah, no, they were telling me their stories. After I came out, people would be like, I'm also going through the same, and I'm surprised that you are walking. And after that, I just gained my weight back, you know, from being that skinny girl, from weighing 47. You know, I lost weight from 65 to 47, or 67 from 67 to 45. I was scary. I remember one day my grandmother, when we visited, I went to the loo outside and she said to my sister, "Are you sure your sister is not sick?"
Oh shit.
That's how bad it was. You know, that's how bad. I think I was depressed in the marriage, but it was not so
The
critical.
thing is, you tried very hard to make it work.
Yeah.
You know, like marriage is two people who are joined together who try to make things work together.
You can't
Not
make it
one
on your
individual
own. Yeah.
who want to pull away and then when are you busy? Because they want to get to a force.
And it's not nice, Ashka. It's not a nice feeling.
I know you must. It's a give and take.
Yeah.
When you just give, and there's no one feeding back in, your jar gets empty.
Sure. You know, when she say after sharing a story, there were a lot of followers. One day I'll tell you about me getting followed. You know, social media, it can break or make you. Yeah, but I say if you're a strong woman, it makes you. And then close. You know, sometimes God, like not sometimes, always God close the ears, like letting a negative.
Yeah.
You know. When you get attacked, I do a lot of videos, the background, I do a lot of videos on social media and then advising to, I believe it was easy for you to go out because you have a school background. You didn't depend on that man to put food on the table.
Very
you know,
true.
I tell people, there's a title, the title of being married, it can be removed anytime.
Yeah. True.
But the title of your qualifications,
nobody can remove it.
no one can
die
remove
with
it.
it.
You die with
True.
it. You know. Now it has been removed. You are from Mrs. to Miss. But the title, if you have a degree, if you have you still have it, and you can still use it everywhere. So when you talk, women, ladies, check what I'm talking about. It's a proof of shikolo. School helps. Butomi. She went out of depression. It wasn't easy, but because she had a background, I was glad. Last year she was graduating. She picked herself up from her struggle. Because what I like what you're saying, Kore. You know, each and every pain, there's a story. You know, and the pain doesn't mean you're going to get harmed. It can make you strong and become a different. Now, if you can get an opportunity to get married again, you won't do the same mistake, my darling.
Yes.
You won't.
Grown.
That's a strong person. You know, wow. Ladies, it's hot.